Welcome everybody. This is a public hearing for a civil tax exemption in correspondence to a new law signed by Governor Hochul. We do not need a quorum of the board to hold a public hearing. We are fortunate that we have a member of our ICSD legal team. We will ask for the briefest of framing and introduction for us, and then we will hear from members of our public that would like to speak on this issue, if that works by you, Kathy.
Yes, absolutely.
So please feel free.
Yep. Just a second, moving this around on my screen here. So basically, what the board has asked, and the reason for the public hearing, is to change the basically the floor and the ceiling offered on both the senior exemption and the disabled persons exemption. Both of those are voluntary exemptions. Municipalities, taxing jurisdictions, school districts don't have to offer those. The Ithaca City School District has chosen to offer both of those. And in response to the inflation that we've seen, Governor Hochul has increased the limits of those. Tompkins County and a number of municipalities, and I believe 2 other school districts, have increased those limits, not to the maximum at this point, but has basically started at $35,000 for a 50% reduction, up to you could have an income of $43,400 and still obtain a 5% reduction under both the senior citizen and the disabled persons exemptions that's being proposed by the district. So it's just to recognize, and acknowledge that, yes, there are these inflationary factors, and the district wants to be protective of those most vulnerable.
Kathy, thank you greatly. And to let the members of the public know, this was a conversation at the last Finance Committee. Folks can find a video of the last Finance Committee via YouTube, as well as the minutes, which I believe are out or will be out shortly. Folks can take a look at that. So if they're looking for additional information, that will be provided. The public hearing tonight is prior to this being on the agenda later this evening. The board can choose to approve, to not approve. The only stipulation is to have it be in effect for this upcoming year. There would have to be action taken by March 1st. That would be tomorrow. And that's the reason why we find ourselves here today, to try to see how we're going to move forward for the next upcoming year. And with that being said, we will invite members of the public to come join us and enter any comments they want into the public records.
Margaret Fabrizio? Yes. Should I sit here?
Please.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Hello, my name is Margaret Fabrizio, and I live in the city of Ithaca. I've been a taxpayer here for the past 40+ years. I support broadening the reach of our senior exemption and commend you for recognizing how really staggering the tax burden is here for everyone, and especially for those on fixed incomes. Your resolution is a step in the right direction. I would like to see the threshold higher and a discount larger to help even more, but I really applaud you for doing this. No doubt we all agree that the way we fund public schools is unsustainable, and that the school aid formula is long overdue for an overhaul. We have not been getting our fair share from Albany for decades, and neither have we been getting our fair share from one of the largest property holders in the district, and that's Cornell University. Cornell owns $2.7 billion worth of tax exempt property in the city alone. They pay $1.6 million in taxes to the district. And if they paid taxes at the same rate that we all do, they would owe the school district, does anyone know? $46 million. $46 million. So getting them to pay a fair share would provide real tax relief. And I urge you to join in the local payment in lieu of taxes, the pilot campaign, which we are just starting. In 2021, when you received about $1.5 million in taxes from Cornell, their endowment had its largest gain in 30 years. That was 42%. It grew from $7.2 billion to $10.2 billion, and they were exempted from paying taxes on these gains. Abatements are another piece of school funding that needs fixing. The Ithaca City School District lost $3.3 million in 2021 because of abatements. And yet there's another abatement hearing that's coming up for next week for the project at the old Ithaca gun site. That's March 6th at 9 a.m. And speaking against this, you as a board, I think is a first step in trying to get what has become seemingly automatic tax exemptions for luxury housing. Not all projects genuinely need abatements, and it seems the threshold for proving that they do is very low. I would urge the school district to help stop allowing developers to be exempted from paying school taxes. Their exemptions total far more than what you're giving to senior citizens who have faithfully paid very large tax bills for decades. I know there's no one solution to our funding problems, but we need to start working toward real reform. Taxes shouldn't be driving people out of the communities that they've invested in their whole lives. We need reform in all of these areas: senior exemptions, Cornell's tax exempt status, the state school aid formula, and abatements. And then even with wins in all of those areas, I just have 20 more seconds.
Yes.
We will still need to better live within our means. So holding the tax rate steady does not mean a 0% increase in our school tax bill, right? Because we are all receiving $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 increases to our assessments every year. So even if you hold it steady, our school tax bill is going up. Mine was over $7,000 for this last year. Significant tax relief will require your voice, your lobbying, and your careful management of our budget. So I was really grateful to hear from Dr. Bradwell that people are speaking with our state legislators. I think this needs to happen more and on a regular basis. Please express your opposition to the IDA board about abatements. This should not be happening. And please join with us, the community, citizens who are starting this movement. Payment in lieu of tax is a pilot program to get Cornell to pay its fair share. And if any of you would like to speak with me, need more information, Trisha has all of my contact information, and I would be really happy to. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Trisha, we have additional people online that are trying to, anyone else in the room, my apologies. Any other members online that are wanting to speak?
No one to find out. No one else has that.
Speak on behalf of many, many people. And the last time I was in this room was to make a proposal to the school board for doing the lavender garden. It happened about 40 something years ago.
Wow.
You were here. Now I can see it. And also, you after doing such a wonderful job with that, you turned it over to one of my very best friends, Barbara.
Yeah, and now I'm helping a little bit again. So.
Oh, good. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Margaret.
We will give it a few minutes just to make sure that we give people time.
There was a Michael, someone who wrote in to us.
Right, and
Sort of
that he would.
I have not heard, but I reached out to Michael, forgetting the last name, I apologize, but gave him the specifics. They have an email exchange as well.
Okay.
There is something in the chat. I don't know if that we should go that.
It was just a reminder to say if anyone wanted to speak, raise their hand.
Yeah, no, I thought we're not going to go there. Okay, well,
Stephen.
I'll remind folks that anytime we have a public hearing that there are various steps. Sometimes our public hearings need 4 weeks of advance notice. Sometimes they need to be announced in print magazine or print newspaper of record. And other times, we have a little more flexibility. All public hearings are entered into the public record for the school board, and so there will be this video will be available. And we look forward to any additional comments, emails, phone calls, any way that community members would like to get a hold of school board members. Let's talk portal, absolutely. You can always reach out to Tricia, the board clerk, as well. And if there are no other folks, then we will bring this public hearing to a close. Thank you, good folks. Appreciate it. Thank you. Very efficient.